The level of orderliness in your life is going to directly determine the level of control that you have over your circumstances. When we observe a successful person, from the way he walks, to the way he talks, to the way he carries himself, we always see an indication and a sense of eloquence and class in each and every step of the way. Because he or she is getting a positive social feedback loop for that behavior, which helps them to carry out that behavior for long. Now, for any unfortunate circumstances, if shit hits the fan and that person starts losing control over his life or her life, what's going to happen is that his actions are going to become erratic, his behavior is going to become unstable, his actions are going to get inconsistent, and as a result of that, he will start losing control over his life. And the consequence of that is that we can safely conclude that the level of control that you have over your life can be directly determined by how messed up or how organized or how in order your life is. And when your life starts getting out of your order and your life starts getting out of your control, what happens is that no high quality individuals want to interact with you. Because think for a moment, a person who is psychologically stable and mentally healthy and have a very successful professional and personal life brings a lot of valuable things to the table. Now, in return to those valuable things, he wants a lot of valuable things in return. And the kind of misery which comes by getting your life out of order is contagious. And every psychologically stable person knows this fact. And that's why they want to avoid the unfortunate people at any cost. And no high quality individuals would like to interact with a person who is clueless about his life and who doesn't know how to get out of this loop of misery and hopelessness. Now, the consequence of that is that whether you're an introvert or you are an extrovert, you need people to have a very good life. If you want personal love, bonding, affection, you need people. If you want a great professional life, you need people. Actually, I read this in a book on corporate finance where they say that the biggest asset that a man has are other people's money and other people. That means resources and talents. And both of these things are going to come from other individuals. We can take the example from the business history of Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison. The genius of Nikola Tesla was not able to give him the kind of recognition and money that he wanted and deserved in his life in comparison to the success and the fame that Thomas Edison accumulated within his lifetime. Now, Nikola Tesla was a genius when it came to technical intelligence. But on the other hand, when we observed Thomas Edison, he was a remarkable marketer and he knew how to do business. And along with his inventions, he also knew how to interact with people. So, what happens is that you need people in order to become successful and in order to stay stable in your life. So, whether you're an introvert or you're an extrovert, this part of life cannot be ignored by you. Now, most of the times, when you are hyper focused on one project through which you are trying to build something of value and you're trying to build something really remarkable, uh, a time can come in your life when you can ignore the rest of your other activities. Like if you're focused on writing a book, or if you're focused on preparing a lecture, or if you're focused on building an app, if you're focused on something which can be valuable to a lot of people, you're going to lose your focus towards your environment. And that's why we see that highly successful people have staffs around them who are taking care of their environment and keeping it in order on their behalf. But at the end of the day, if you're not a hyper intellectual and you're not highly focused on one simple thing, and you're a simple person like me or like other individuals or like most of the people on this planet, what's going to happen is that you're going to fall into this loop of depression and anxiety when you're constantly living in a messed up environment. And the circumstance of that is that the consequence of that is that you will start losing your control over your life and your life is subsequently going to get out of order. So, in order to get rid of this loop of misery, and unorderliness, the first thing that anybody can do is to build a routine. Now, routine is something which is very important because if you don't have a routine, that means you don't have a life. And that's why, whether it's an athletic routine where you go to the gym or you go and play football or you go and play some sort of combat sport, anything which is physically and mentally demanding and exhausting and can take away your ability to become depressed and anxious for a while must be repeated each and every single day by you. And that's your most important medicine that you can take to get out of depression and anxiety. And for that, you will have to discipline yourself. And when you're going to start that, you must start it by taking care of yourself. If you're not successful, at least you can imitate the behaviors of the successful people. And the most important trait of all the people who are successful, which I have read, is that they take care of themselves. Take care of the way you look, take care of the way you talk to other people. Each and everything which is in your life, try to put everything in order. Try to keep your environment clean. If you can do these things, you will start gaining your self confidence back because that's the only way that you can gain confidence. The external resources, the external connections can give you a sense of contentment and satisfaction for a while that you know a lot of people and you have a lot of resources at your disposal. So you think that you can survive for long. But at the end of the day, your ability to tell yourself that no matter what happens, you will not allow any disorganized happening within your life and you will not allow anything to go out of order which are under your control. What you are telling the world is that you're not willing to surrender to your circumstances just because they're getting out of control. You're staying in control until the season will change, things will come back in your favor, and you will be back on track again. Stay in order and keep your environment clean and organized.